what do we have here? A quick unboxing. This just came in the mail, so we're gonna get this guy open. It's I think it's a Rihe Design, I don't know. It has something to do with Tucson. I feel like it's like a Tucson cousin derivative, something like that. You know what though? Before I do that, I want to change the blade in this. All right, there we go. This is such a nice little unit, man. The O-Knife little axis lock razor knife. Really nice little knife, really nicely made. I don't know if they're still 20 bucks, but they were 20 bucks a couple weeks ago when I picked this guy up. You know, it's kind of the irony of the Chinese made by Kaiser knife with the USA flag on it is not lost on me, but that's okay. It looks cool. I like it. Let's get this guy open and find out if it's cool or if it's not cool. So this is I guess it's a YJGDCN Yangjing Guangdong, China. I don't know, man. I don't know what they're doing with this shit, but it's like, it's a relative of, somehow it's related to Tucson. I don't know exactly how, but it is. A 6-leaf, Tucson, somewhere in there. It's related somehow. You get the stupid thing out of here. Okay. Let's see if this guy is as cool as it looks. Oh, okay. Interesting. I didn't know it had an anodized backspacer. Boy, this thing is a chunk. This thing is a chunk, man. That is my first hot take on this guy. That it is heavy. It is a heavy one. I'm not sure if it has a name, but if it has a name, I'll put it right up here. Let's get this guy out of here. Let's see what this chunk weighs as soon as it comes out of the bag. Look at how it's wrapped. It's wrapped like a Tucson with a double bag because they're often filled with that. They're often filled with that grease that they put on the knives, straight out of China. Some kind of molybdenum or something. Come on. Boy, that's a front flipper from hell. Look at that front flipper poking up. Just trying to stick its way out of there like a little shark fin. Ooh, boy, look at that. Look at that Damascus. That is pretty. I almost have to start wiping things here before I even put it on the scale, or else I'm going to get oil on my scale. Alright, so we got it a little bit unoiled. Boy, that Damascus is nice looking too, actually. Boy, that is really nice. Nice and smooth. Let's get her weighed. 5.78, so a little bit of a chunk. A little bit of a chunky boy. Look at those thumb studs. These things are huge. Look how big those suckers are, man. Woo, okay, that's not bad. That's a nice little pop. Okay, how's the drop? That's not bad at all. Little off center. Look at that. Just a tiny bit off center that direction. Is it loose? Doesn't feel loose. So we may have to make a little adjustment to get it back on center. Feels rough. Feels rough inside, like we got gunk in there or something. Boy, look at that pretty Damascus, though. That is nice. Boy, it's etched pretty deep. You can actually feel it. You know, some of the Damascus that has this similar look is just like a surface color difference, but this stuff is kind of 3D a little bit. It looks like a hollow grind. I think it is. Holy shit. Huh. That is a big, tall hollow grind on this Damascus blade. That is interesting. Yeah, that feels like it's almost maybe too tight in the bearings. Let's open these guys up a bit and see what we got here. Boy, that is rough feeling. Am I spinning both sides? Oh crap, I'm spinning both sides. What the hell? Oh, come on, guys. There's no socket for a Torx bit on this side, and this thing is spinning. So, I know the trick for that.
Spinning pivot trick.
If you have a two-sided pivot, and you're trying to get it to come loose, right? And the other side is spinning. Even if it has a socket, it's still a pain in the ass to hold the wrench on both sides, right? So here's a trick to doing that. Go ahead and open the knife, and then get something under it so you're not going to dull the end of it, like a, I don't know, a little piece of cardboard or something like that. And then, trying to rip a piece of cardboard off here. And then you press down on the cardboard, with the blade pretty strongly, okay? And that's going to put enough pressure on the pivot barrel to where it won't spin. Look at that. Booyah. Whoopsie. So we got this thing undone here now. Easy peasy. Boy, it's got a nice big pivot surround here, which I assume is titanium. Kind of a funky purple color. It's kind of neat. You know what? It might not be. It might be aluminum. Yeah, I'm not sure. Anyway, it's something. We're going to go ahead and take this guy all the way apart and see what's inside of him. Not sure why they went with the blue on the back spacer, but it's something. Good. Now, which end is the screw on? Is it on this end? Probably, right? Maybe? Yeah, I can't tell. We've got these little Chicago screws, I think they're called, the hollow bolts that go through. And you can't tell which end has the screw on it and which end is the Chicago bolt because they look pretty much the same. Boy, I like it when the clip is down into a little cutout that makes it so tight that it's hard to get it moving. That means that, whoopsie, that your pocket clip will not be wobbling around. It's in there super tight. Even without the bolt holding it, it's down in there super tight. So there's no bolt holding it. It's still not wanting to move. Boy, you know what? I don't really have to take it off, but I feel like I want to. Ah, there it goes. All right. So look how nicely that fits, man. That is a nice little cutout. Nicely done. Very cool. Yeah, it's definitely got some heft to it. It's got some gravity. All right, so we're just going to take this guy apart, though, and we are going to... I like how the blade is tight on the pivot, too. That usually means we have pretty well-made hole and pretty well-made pivot, so it's not it doesn't have any looseness to it. Well, everything's looking pretty nice and clean on her. Yeah, not bad. Whoops, there's the other side of the pivot collar. I wonder if these inserts come out easily or not. Let's find out. Why not, you know? I'm going to take this little... There we go. Take that. Don't leave. Come back. There we go. Take that guy out first, and then let's see. Ooh, that's not coming out easy. I think it's glued in pretty well. I was going to see if maybe it would come out and play. Doesn't seem like it wants to. If I wanted to dye these, I think I could dye them right inside the handle. And I might give them a little blue dye to go along with these other parts, because I like the blue. The blue looks nice, but the red looks weird with the blue to me. I don't like it. We could dye this blue, or not dye it. We could anodize this blue to match these, and then dye these inserts blue. I think we have a pretty nice looking color combo. What do you think? Pretty nice. With that detent ball spot is kind of shallow, but the detent felt fine, so yeah, I don't know. It seems like it works good. But everything looks pretty well done on the blade. Yeah, not bad at all. Ooh, a little gunk right there. That could be part of it. Some little piece of trash. You know what? I'm kind of liking the knife, but I definitely wanted to figure out what was the deal with the kind of gunkiness I felt in it.
It turns out that old knife reviewer had the reason for that bumpy deployment feel staring him in the face the whole time. It was that Damascus. It was three-dimensional, and the place where the detent ball went around the track was all bumpy from that Damascus.
Trying to get this little fart piece out of here, but it won't come out. Let's see. Sometimes you push it from the other side and it works better. But she is not wanting to come out at all. Let's see. Sometimes you just give it a little whack. Nope. One more whack. Real hard. There we go. Sometimes they're even glued in with almost like a thread locker or something like that. Yeah, everything looks pretty nice on it. I'm not finding any problems with it. Yeah, I think I might throw it in some dye and give these a little blue dye so they go along with the rest of the blue parts. That one's almost a blurple. Got a little bit of purple, a little bit of blue. Maybe if I clean it off, clean the oils off of it, it'll show its true colors a little better. Okay, yeah, that is sort of a blue-purple. Nice. That's a nice color. I like that. That's really nice. Not sure if these guys are the same. Yeah, pretty close. A little darker. Yeah, no biggie. All right, so I think I'm going to throw these guys in some dye and see how that looks before we do anything else, before we clean it up and put it back together and see if it just works great as it is. Boy, that's really nice the way that swedge brings out those lines in the Damascus. All right, we'll be right back. Is it weird that I can't even finish an unboxing without totally modifying the knife? So we dipped the G10 in blue dye, RWL dye, and then we anodized the clip to kind of match the backspacer there. I couldn't quite get it to the right blue. It has a little bit more purple in it than this does, but this has a little bit of purple. So, you know, it's a purpley thing. And then these guys, I was going to anodize these pivot collars, but they're steel, so they can't anodize. Same thing with the thumb studs, but I had cut them down a lot. They were these big, giant, hulking cylinders before. Now they're like these little kind of pyramid-y things, cones, whatever. And you got to get your thumb down a little bit more on them. But they just don't look so stupid. I couldn't handle how stupid they looked. I don't care if I can't even open the knife. Now, remember I mentioned that it felt kind of gritty. It still does. There's a bumpiness to it, but it's not the bearings. The bearings are clean and everything's fine. Oh, it's a little bit loose though. The bearings are clean and everything is fine inside. But what is problematic is the detent ball on the lock bar is, you know, as the blade moves out, right? It's the blade is rubbing across that detent ball, and the Damascus is three-dimensional and has little bumps and divots in it. So it's going bump, 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 bump. Bump, 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 bump. That's not really bad. I'm gonna be okay with it, I think. But I can tell that it's that because all I have to do is move the lock bar out and away, and now there's no bumpiness. So it's just that detent ball right below here, hitting on the tang of the blade as it curves an arc, and going bump, 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 bump. So, you know, just be aware that if you get the Damascus one, at least this version, there's another Damascus version with a smaller raindrop pattern. It might not have that feeling, but this one does. And it kind of feels a little gritty, but really nice action otherwise. I wish it didn't have that grittiness, but it does, and that's the way it goes. The front flip action is really nice too. Really good. I couldn't get these inlays out. I actually dyed the inlays still attached to the titanium frame. I just dipped them frame and all. I mean, I took it all apart, but then I took the two frames, dipped them in the nearly boiling dye, and got that done so that they have a little bit of a purple hue to them instead of the red. The red just wasn't working for me. I might go back after these and sand them off a little bit. That sort of dark gray that I got by trying to heat anodize them to a blue, and it didn't work. It's not really working for me. I might just yank those out. You know what? Let's do it. Let's do it right now. By the way, who is putting on steel frickin' thumb studs these days, man? But look, we took that dark gray off. Basically, I just hit him with the wire wheel. You can hear it slowing down in the background. That's the wire wheel dogging down. Now let's put them back in. The big half goes in the show side. See, that looks a little bit better with the blade steel now. Not quite so different from it. It was so dark gray. I was trying to get to a blue, but it didn't really get to blue. It went to sort of a greenish, weird, lightish blue color that didn't... it looked like shit, let's just be honest. It looked like doo-doo pies. There we go. Just snug it in. Doesn't have to be super tight. And now we have a nice looking thumb stud that isn't all crazy gigantic. The detent could be a little stronger. I actually adjusted the lock bar in a bit to give it a little more strength, but it's still a little weak. I don't want to go adjusting it much more, I don't think. But it's not bad. Yeah, that's not bad. That's actually not terrible. For a big, heavy blade, not being able to fly out when I do this means the detent's not bad. If you flip this thing out where your hand is way up high, sometimes this guy comes and hits you in the finger and kind of bounces it around a little bit. Got a nice choil here, cut deep enough. I didn't mess with it. This is just how it was. It's perfectly fine for sharpening. It's going to sharpen like a million more times. Not a million, but you know. And when it drops, because it has that nice choil, it doesn't cut into your thumb skin or anything. It's really good, really well done. I would say it's a tiny bit on the thick side, but not much. It's not bad. Maybe a little bit over ½ inch, something like that. Let's see. I got a thingy. Where's my thingy? Here's my thingy. Does it work? I don't remember if this thing even has batteries. Haven't used it in a long time. Let's see. Do it work? No, it ain't gonna work. Let's see. Do I remember how to use it, even if it doesn't have batteries? Okay. Let's see. It's in millimeters, though. No, there's inches, I think. Yeah, okay, so that's 0.5 inches. All right. Yeah, it's a little bit over 0.5. A hair over 0.6 even, I think. So, you know, a lot of knives are a little thinner than that, closer to a 0.5. I like about a 0.5. So this is the full-size Concept, and it's not really on the thin side. It's on the average thickness side, and it is just a hair under 0.5. So that's what I like. A knife to be right around 0.5. A hair over, a hair under is fine, but 0.5 is a good place to be, I think. A little over 0.6 is a chunky boy. It's chunky. And also it's heavy. Remember how heavy it was? I do not remember how heavy it was, but it was heavy. It felt heavy. 6 ounces, something like that. Maybe it was over 6. It's been a while. You know, to you, I just weighed it 3 minutes ago, but for me, it was 3 days ago. Yeah, almost 6 ounces. Yeah. No, it really wasn't 3 days ago. It was like a couple hours ago. I like it though. It's a Rihe Design. You can find it on eBay. You can find it at AliExpress. You know, those kind of places. You're not going to get the blue pocket clip, remember, and you're going to get red here. But they have a really fancy as fuck one that has Damascus. No. Zirconium inlay. So Zirconium is, it's like a Damascus like this, using 2 different steels. So let's just look at this. What is this thing? This is a blade that uses 2 different steels. And one of them is more easily etched than the other one. So they mix the 2 steels together and they pound them and smash them and make these cool shapes, right? But it looks just like one piece of steel until you shape it and then you dip it in acid, and the acid etches the softer steel, I guess you could say the softer steel, more than the harder steel. It's not harder, softer, it's more resistant to etching, and less, like this one probably has more nickel in it. This one that's not etched, the shiny one, probably has more nickel in it. I think that's probably the main thing that does that, I think. It might be chromium too, I don't remember. Anyway, so they can do the same thing with titanium. They can mix 2 different grades of titanium, and then when you heat it or anodize it, it colors differently, so it looks really cool. And then you can also mix in zirconium, which is a sort of it's a titanium-ish metal, but it can turn black. It can do other little bit different things. Anyway, that's what Zirconium is, and that's what they have on a different model of this. It's only about, I think it's like $200, $250, something like that. Which is probably the lowest price you're going to see on a Zirconium knife, basically. That's really cheap, basically. This is a good-sized knife. It's not a little baby knife. Like I said, this guy is a full-size knife, but it doesn't quite have, even though it's about the same length, pretty close, it doesn't quite have the same presence that this big chunker has with a much taller blade and beefy handle and everything. So this is definitely a pocket full, all right? So, you know, judge for yourself. Does it seem like something you need? This Rihe Design, pretty sweet, Damascus, and G10 Damascus, whatever the fuck they call it, on the inserts there. Or do you want the super fancy one? Or they have like a more plain one that's, I think, only like $80 or something, that just has plain steel and maybe G10 here. I don't know what it has, but a little more plain one for a little less money. But I think it's a pretty cool knife. So let me know what you think about it, and have a nice day.